Gardeners. It's a hot summer day. I have the camera out because I have a bloom. That was a truck. Waited till it got really sunny to do this because I have morning chores. But that's what the bloom looks like. This plant is special. One, I just love the leaves. And it was a Mother's Day present. We made a special date to go out to a nursery on Ford Road that I had never been to and, passed a bunch of times. And the whole family went. It was freezing cold and it was raining and the doors were open in the greenhouse and it was kind of miserable. But I bought some cool stuff. Or my daughter did for me. She's lucky it was really cold and miserable because I don't know how much money I would have spent in there if it would have been warm and cozy and enjoyable. I have one more special thing. Hold on. Yellow coneflowers. I had a bunch of them in here one year and we had this horrible storm and knocked them all down and I didn't know very much about them. They must have grown from a packet of wildflower seeds, which I threw in here again in the early spring. But anyway, I cut them back thinking they would come back up and not be fussy like my purple coneflowers, the echinacea. But they didn't come back. I was bummed. But here they are, 2 years later. A giant cosmos. Butterfly bush. My grandson's walking up behind me, so I'm going to see what's going on. I think he needs my help. My morning chores. I let everybody out this morning while I was cleaning. Okay, you guys need to go back in the pen now. It's going to be hot, and I don't want to chase you around when it's 100. They're always making a background noise. Just cleaning back here while doing chores. This log turned out really nice. I think that's the nicest it's ever looked. The second time I've had a sunflower growing out of it. Trumpet vine got a good trimming. Alright, I gotta go help my grandson. I'm being followed. While I was cleaning up the log area, I cut back the hollyhock. It's loaded with seeds. I love hollyhocks. And they really haven't done well the last couple of years, so I'm replanting everywhere. I don't like showing the greenhouse this time of year because there's really hardly ever anything in it. I did clean up a little bit. Cut this back. Took all the dead out of it. Geraniums won't be coming in the house this year. Maybe this one because it's in a nice pot. Geranium and what is that red Christmas flower? Amaryllis? Amaryllis? Amaranth I have in the garden too, so I get them confused. I potted up my new lemon tree. One in the house that I seeded 3 years ago is really tall. This is sweet potato. I've done sweet potato in a pot before, and they were little, but they were so good. Tropicanas are blooming. Love them. Here is the amaranth. I usually have at least one really big one in the garden every year. This one ain't done yet. It's going to be my big one, but I have another one by the log. This garden turned out really nice this year. I started all these gardens because the view was so ugly. Just a busy road and garbage and emptiness, and so this garden was hiding the fact that this is where we put our garbage, and I can see it from the kitchen window. This was a birthday present from my daughter. It was not very big when I got it. Elderberry. It's something I had been on the search for years and have not seen it in any of the stores that I shop at. So she ordered it on Etsy. I ended up with 3. And it grew a lot. It's going to be a great centerpiece. And my big leaf hydrangea over here was my first hydrangea. And it is really getting big this year. It's bloomed a bunch of times already, but we have, oh, the pumpkin needs to come out of there. Done a lot of that this year. There's a big bloom. But I did see some on top with buds right here. So it is going to bloom out again before it gets cold. And this little hydrangea over here, which is pretty big this year, was my first successful propagation. It is 3 years old and it looks really good this year. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with this whole garden, really. I enlarged it about a foot, but I want to enlarge it a lot more than a foot. A foot or 2 a year probably till I get there. And that whole area, I do want to punch it up and make it one big garden. This is greenhouse 2. I did film this the last time I did the garden tour in the vegetable garden, my vegetable jungle, but it didn't take, so I had to leave it out. But it's full of peppers and tomatoes. This is an experiment. This is the first time I've had the greenhouse in the garden for the whole summer. And of course I started with things I knew, like heat. So this pepper got stepped on, but it's growing back. I added some beans. Starting my winter garden. This one I'm okay to show, and I did show you the other one, even though it's really not doing much. Yeah, it's cool in here. I like it. I am shading this area. I wouldn't be able to grow in here without that shade tarp and these big tall things. I need to pull some corn while I'm in here. These sunflowers help shade. I like these. I'm going to put these in again next year for that reason, so that we get some shade. Keeps things from burning. Look at these ferns. I got this for Mother's Day too. I do not know the name of that greenhouse where we were shopping. These were sold as annuals, the guy said, but there were no tags on it. So I can't really tell you anything about it other than it's an annual and it's beautiful and it's fern-like. And I'm going to try to keep this alive in the house. I picked out a pot. First bloom on the new passion flower. Even the foliage is a little bit different. It's a little bluer, deeper green. The other passion flower that I've had for several years. So I've cross-pollinated this one. I've gone back and forth with my hand, pollinating both flowers. That way, if I get a fruit and some seeds, then I'll have a new hybrid passion flower.